It's never about the money. It never is. But I promise you, if you want to be rich, real estate investing is the way to go. But let me tell you, how rich do you want to be? Now, depending on how rich you want to be, is going to determine the type of strategy you're going to use. So let's talk about it. Now, if you think about it, there's three types of investors. You got your DIYer, you got your active investor, and then you have your passive investor. So let's talk about how rich you want to be and which path is going to determine which is best for you. So as a DIY investor, you may want to, you're looking for more of an income that you could be able to have for retirement. And you might want a little portfolio that you can leave behind for your children. Now, I'm not saying you still can't be a millionaire. You can, but it's all about the strategy, right? So for you, it's going to be about how many properties do I want? And this can be as little as 4 properties. So let's use that as our example, right? So let's say your goal is to get 4 properties. Let's say right now in today's economy, that home, each of those properties are worth 250,000. So by the time you retire, you can have a strategy where all 4 of those properties, including your own home, is paid off and there's no debt, right, when you retire. And also that you have income coming from these properties, not only just that one income, because the goal here is to have multiple streams of income, right? So if you're a DIYer, that may be your goal. Hey, I just want to have a comfortable retirement and something I can leave behind for my generation. Now, I would say about 90% would be in this category because at the end of the day, look, I know you're not trying to be a landlord. I know you're not trying to manage properties. You're not trying to change toilets, things like that, right? But there's a way that you can still be hands off, even if you have those properties. You can always have what I like to say, your list of people to call. Sometimes that can be plumbers, electricians, whatever that is, and then you get billed for it, and you never really even talk to the renter, right? There's ways that you could be able to do that. But usually, if you're looking to just retire and just have a little nice nest egg for the next generation, DIY investor all the way. Now, the second one is active investor, where you might have 5+ doors. When I say doors, this is tenants, right? So this can be multifamily, single family residences. And for you, you may say, hey, I want to earn while I learn. And this is about, I would say, 8% of you are right here. You want to earn while you learn. And that means that you're willing to share in the profits and you want to partner with a real estate industry professional and allow for them to take over the project. And you're the monetary investor in that project. And you both see the project through. And then either you rent it out and you share the profits, or you sell that property and share the profits. Now, I like this way as active investor because if you want to really get in the game very quickly and not have to worry about building your own team, this is a great way for you to partner with other active investors. Okay. Now, passive investor. This is where, when I tell you, like, it doesn't, if you're a DIY or active investor, you can also be a passive investor after you've built out your own portfolio, right? But those passive investors, I would say, is about 2% that's going to say, hey, I just want to make my money, make money for me. So you may say, I want to use the money that's in my retirement accounts for a 1K, places that your money is just sitting and is not making you any money. You can be able to park this in high reward properties like commercial properties that will allow for your money to make money for you. So this is kind of like a hands-off type of approach because you can receive dividends or earned income from these investments, and all you did was invest your money. And you can take that money and invest it again. If they are depending on the type of fund that you're investing in, or the properties, whatever that strategy is specifically, but there's so many different ways that you can still be able to make that income. So as a passive investor, you really have a higher risk tolerance, right? All the other ones, you kind of low to medium, but this is where you have a high risk tolerance because you know you're going after bigger profits. And usually with bigger properties, it's going to be high risk, high reward. So as a passive investor, if you really don't have the time to do it yourself, but you want to still be involved and help rebuild communities, still have your money make money for you, I highly recommend this route. Now, let me explain here because there's two ways that you can really get into this, okay? Now, you can be an accredited investor, which means that you have over 300,000 if you're married, or 200,000 or 300,000 depending on your household situation coming in income wise, and has a net worth of over $1 million. So that's why I said if you're a DIY and active investor, you can always move it to that passive investor side if that is what you're looking to do. So when you become an accredited investor, that's where you start seeing these deals pop up. But you may be wondering, okay, I'm not necessarily all the way there. So how can I still invest as a passive investor? Well, we have one of the things called real estate syndication, where it allows for you to be able to invest in private deals that allow for you to still act as a accredited investor and get in on these deals, right? But let me tell you, there's a catch. You can't just go signing up for anything, right? So as we're building this relationship, as we get to know each other, I will begin to tell you a little bit more about that if that is the path that you choose. But depending on how rich you want to be, these will allow for you to reach your goal. Now, I want to say one last thing, okay? Let's talk about the rich part. Let's talk about the money part. And let's talk about the intangible part of this, right? So as a DIY investor, you may take a little time to grow your portfolio, and you're looking more so to pay off that debt and have that income, right? So for you, the rich part of that is, hey, I'm able to leave a legacy for my family, right? I'm not worried about, I'm still having that income, that extra income coming in. I'm not worried about debt, and I have a financial foundation for the next generation. If that's rich to you, baby, then that's the way to go. Because even with those 4 properties, you can still net anywhere from 1,000, depending on your strategy, right? Anywhere from hundreds to thousands per month that you can still be able to earn, even as a DIYer. So an active investor, you want to, you actively, continually, this is like your job, right? As an active investor, hey, this is my career. This is what I'm doing. And so learning real estate investing is actually a high income skill that you can pass to the next generations. And this is why I love it, because being an active investor, you're looking at deals. You may be partnering with someone, but as I said, you're learning to earn. And so by you sharing in those profits at the beginning, it may not be as much, but once you learn it, now you're able to receive all those profits because you're able to now take what you learn and duplicate it. Now, let's say you may, and in that phase, and you're mainly, like I said, you may be doing 5+ doors, multifamily. So for you, you may be looking for a 6-figure income. That is going to be more active investor because you're actively acquiring properties in order to build that income. Now, you don't have to do it for years on end. You can say, I have a certain goal that I need to hit in terms of rental income. And then you can determine what those properties that you want in what area, and then go after that, right? And then you can have that income that's coming in while you still may be participating. Now you have become the active investor in helping others be able to participate in those deals. Or you may have already built that portfolio and you're ready to become a passive investor because all of this profit that's coming in, baby, you're ready to invest it somewhere. And so as a passive investor, you're looking at 8%, 10%. You're looking more at the ROI in terms of percentage in your returns. Usually in this field, in the passive investor field, you're looking like, hey, I need about on average 8% returns because I know this is what yields usually in the real estate market as an investor. So instead of allowing your money to be parked in your 401k or your retirement, and you're only earning maybe 4%, and then if the market hit, your whole 401k is depleted. Oh my God, that would scare me. So why not park it in something that will allow for you to continually earn your money? Now, I'm not saying that real estate doesn't lose, right? We did have a real estate bubble. But what I'm saying here is that when it comes to stocks, when it's gone, right? Yes, you still have that stocks. The same thing with real estate. It can go back in value just like stocks. But the great thing about real estate is that it can appreciate faster than stocks. Okay. So we're not gonna go into a battle which one is best. I'm choosing real estate investing all day. If I do stocks, it's going to be dividends. And we'll kind of get into that later on what my strategy is. But I just wanted to point out that now from an investment part of the passive investor, like I said, you're looking for 8% returns. So you may be putting in 25,000, 50,000 plus into an investment that is going to be long-term gain. But here's still the benefit for you as that passive investor. You still have ownership, right? Part ownership in that property, but you don't carry that risk that the person that is working that deal is carrying. That's the benefit of being a passive investor, right? Your risk is lower than the other ones because you're not the full owner, right, of that property. You're participating in those investments, which means that your risk is lowered because now you have shared interest, but more importantly, you're also getting shared profits. So this can range, as I said, you invest something over time. I use the 72 rule. And if you do 8%, let's say you invest 100,000 and over 8%, that allows you to know how long is it going to take for me to double my money. So usually about 8%, it can take about 9 years. So let's say you have 300,000, you invest it. It can take 9 years for you to double that investment and turn it into almost $1 million, if that's something that you're looking to do. So that is what I feel like. Let's cut that part out.